One day I uploaded a community post asking if I should start a building series, and out of the 8 people who voted, most of them said yes, so here you go. I of course started off with making some simple wave gameplay, which isn't too special, but it gets the job done. I struggled a lot making it though, like this is 5 times speed here and I'm moving so slow. Oh my god. But after a while I finally figured out what kind of gameplay I was gonna make, and then I started working on the ship part, which took a while. It took a lot longer than I'd like to admit, okay? I started with making something like a straight fly with a bit of structuring and spike variation, which I actually kind of like how it looks. After a bit of off-camera work, I finally got it how I wanted it to be, and I think it turned out pretty well. Then after that, I decided to playtest after every single block placement for some reason, so I'm just gonna skip that so that you don't have to suffer. And wow, would you look at that? Wow, so cool. So cool, the power of editing. Wow. Then I just added some S-blocks so the player doesn't just go on for infinity. Now that the pre-drop is over, I can finally start on the decoration, which I am not very good at decoration. So for the most part, I was messing around with colors, trying to get something that would look good, and I finally decided on something that I thought would look pretty good, but this little structure right there is so annoying. So I just ended up changing it. It was really stupid and annoying. I hated it. Then I finished filling in the blocks relatively fast. It didn't take too long. It was actually one of my favorite parts about building this level so far. I then started to experiment a little bit with glow, trying to get some sort of texture in there, but it just wasn't looking like how I wanted it to. I definitely don't think people would think that this looks good. It looks like the literal sun. So I just ended up scrapping it. I then tried with some different approach with glow, and that looked even worse. It somehow looked worse. I don't know how I made it look worse than the literal sun. God, I'm bad at decoration. Then after a little bit, I decided to put some low opacity white bricks in front of the orange solid blocks to add in a bit more personality and texture to it, because it really needed some of that. It wasn't looking the best. Then I realized that the current background I'm using, it does not fit the theme at all, so I tried to figure something out to change it a bit, switch it up, and I finally got something that looked actually half decent. Then I started on the saws. This whole segment here is just me fixing layering and just making saws and stuff. It took forever to finally get a good looking saw in it, and it just wasn't a very fun part of building this. I got it over relatively fast though, so that was a relief. I then added a bit of glow, and I started to work on a spike design that I actually kind of enjoyed making. It looked so nice in my opinion. Basically what I did was just put a bunch of spikes inside of a mini spike and just added some glow on top of it. It's so simple, but it works so well. I don't know why. Then I just started making a big spike design, which was basically the same gist as the tiny spike design. It was just the exact same. Then comes the half spike design, which I wanted to do something different this time instead of just a bunch of spikes spammed into it, and it kind of sticks out, but it also fits really well for some reason in my opinion. I really enjoyed decorating it. It just turned out really well in my opinion. Then here I'm just adding in a couple ground spikes, play testing, making sure there aren't any bugs, just having fun overall, messing around a bit, and just making it overall look a bit better, fixing layering, just basically everything I needed to do to make it look half decent. And that was the end of day 1, thankfully. I finally got some rest. Then I started working on the background and foreground, and god damn, there are so many steps to building a level. The background I kept pretty basic. It's not really the main focus of the level. It's just something that I just kind of put there for a bit of detail and just to make it look overall better. I then tried to make a foreground that was like a pillar, but that ended up not working at all. It ended up looking horrible. I tried to make some pointy vines on it, but that didn't end up looking good, so I scrapped it. For the foreground, I decided on these orange pointy vines, and I added a bit of glow pulse, and it looked a lot better. I then started to decorate the second part of the pre-drop, which didn't take too long. It was really fun to do, and I'm finally done with the pre-drop by this point. Just a bit of glow pulsing, adding in the foreground to the second part of the pre-drop and the background. It finally done. Finally. So I'm gonna save you some time, and without further ado, I'm gonna show you the level. Enjoy. Well, that's the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Also, give me some tips on how you think I can improve it, because I think there's definitely some room for improvement. Join the Discord as well.